Record. Let's see. So I'm actually just going to share my screen with you guys. I made some slides so that way I could keep this as not too lengthy, because I don't know, this morning I went live, you guys, and I talked on my live video for 35 minutes, which is way too long. No one's going to watch that. So I need to get a timer. Okay. I'm going to switch this and then click present. Okay, I don't know if I can see the chat from here, but okay, so hi, I'm Am Jessie, for those of you who don't know me. Wait, I don't like this because I can't see your faces. That sucks. Let me see if I can. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so hi, okay. So who am I? I am almost married. I'm in the middle of wedding planning, like chaos. We have 2 months to go until our wedding. I'm a dog mom. I have a brand new puppy. I graduated from Mizzou. I was in a sorority, but like I always hated on it. And I always wanted to find my tribe and my community so badly, but I really I pushed it away because I wanted it so bad. I'm full of energy and positivity. If you follow any of my posts, you know that, I'm always super energetic. But at the same time, I get super stuck in my head, thinking that I'm socially awkward and weird. So I get very introverted. I'm a natural leader, a natural talker, a natural sharer. So, sharing things just comes naturally to me. I really want to share things. I do deal with anxiety and depression. So mindset has been a huge game changer for me. I love to be creative, but I used to hate to say that because I'm not artistic. I can't draw, but I just love to be creative. I like to create meal plans and create slides like this and things like that. I'm messy, I'm disorganized, I'm chaotic, I'm always late, and I really I love it that way. I used to hate it. I used to be Ann, you need to be organized, and I had to let that go because it's just not me. I'm a foodie. I love to bake. I love to cook. I love trying new recipes, so I'm just super into food. So, did you see anything about Beachbody on that list? And I can't see the chat, but obviously no. And that's the funny thing is I think, when we get started coaching, we think that we have to become Beachbody coaches. But really, in order to be the best coach, you need to figure out who you are. And I tried for so long to be okay, who's the best Beachbody coach? I want to be her. And I tried so hard to be that version of myself, which wasn't even really who I wanted to be. It was just this idea of who I wanted to be. And it was confusing for me, right? And so I felt I had to post things or oh, I shouldn't post that. And I felt kind of stuck and confused. And once I let go of I'm not just I'm not a Beachbody coach, I'm not a certain rank or a certain person on a ladder. I kind of let go of that. And so you don't see that on my list of things. You are your brand. Beachbody is a brand, but they market for themselves. So you need to start focusing on your brand and marketing yourself instead of just marketing for Beachbody. So instead of, talking about a specific program or a shake, how is that impacting your life specifically? Instead of thinking, how can I sell products? Think, how can I show people who I am and what works for me? So why do I think that people need these groups? Why do I think they need Beachbody On Demand? Why do I think they need Shakeology? And they're I think that because it's how it has helped me. So I think, who am I? What did I need? And where have I came from? What was I needing before I started? What can I offer people? And I focus on that. Okay, so I kind of broke this down for you guys into some steps because I wanted to make it super, super things you can take action on right now, tonight, after this call, tomorrow, during your power, or whenever. So step one, and I put these already in the page, so you can get this slide from there. So you don't have to feel like you have to write all this down really quickly, because I know that can be kind of hard. And you don't have to do this as I'm talking through it, because it's going to be there. Just kind of think about it now, and you can go back and do this. This is something I've done a ton. I did it like 3 times at Summit. Like I do it all the time, and I just recently did it, and it kind of just, the more often you do it, the more you can really narrow in who your customer is. So I want you to take out a piece of paper and just start writing out all the things that make you you. So the boring things, the weird things, your personality traits, just like list all the things that make you you. You can evaluate it later, you can go through it later and, kind of narrow out which is your brand and which is just random things. But, try and come up with a thing, like a list of just 10 things. So, like I love the color purple, kind of like the things that I posted at the very beginning about me. I'm a dog mom. I graduated from Mizzou. And your things don't have to look anything like my things. It's just kind of figuring out who you are, like what has shaped who you are, what shapes you now, what you're interested in, those kinds of things. And they can be super boring. Like you love to eat pizza every Tuesday night, or you love watching a silly TV show. Like they don't have to be cool things because they're going to be cool to you. So they're going to be cool to people who are like you. Then make a list of 3 things that are struggle points. So make sure that, these are things that maybe you struggle with now, but depending on where you are in your journey, think about things that you struggled with before you became a coach. So what was it that you were struggling with that maybe made you sign up for your first challenge group or made you interested in Beachbody products? Like, what was it that you were struggling with? And maybe it's things that you're still struggling with now, like, nighttime snacking. If anyone has like nighttime snacking under control, like that they don't have hacks for it, like, I don't know, they're crazy. Because I think everyone has their nighttime, snacking hacks. And so like share those. If that's something you struggle with, write that down. Be that something that you help people with. Workout excuses that lead to not working out. I think that's a huge one for people. What is it that might stop you from working out? What are your struggles? You say you're busy all the time. So if you're someone who used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm too busy for this, I'm too busy for that, I'm so busy all the time. Well, how have you found time to fit in, this business or fit in those workouts? Or how have you realized that like it's only 30 minutes or like you could do a 10-minute trainer workout if you really had to, if you really didn't have time? So how have you, been able to help yourself with those struggles based on things that are related to coaching? And then I also want you to make a list of at least 2 fears. And sometimes I think people skip over the fears part, but I think fears is really important because fears are usually where the objections come from. So having this fear of trying and not losing the weight. So am I really going to try something again, like another product? And is this one going to work? Like, I know that was a huge one for me, was I kept trying things and I felt like nothing was working. And it was like, am I really going to try another thing? Like, what if it doesn't work? So if that's something that you relate to, then, write that down. And these should be, again, your fears, not just random fears. So when I first would do these avatar creations, like I would do it for anybody, right? Like I would just come up with every fear any person could ever have about workouts, but you really want to narrow it in on like, what are the specific fears you had? What are the specific fears you still have? And that way you can really, figure out who that person is that, you're talking to, and you can really hit their fear points, which is going to hit their emotion points. Okay. So, so your 2 fears, trying and not losing the weight, your significant other not understanding if that was ever a fear for you. I know a lot of people come to me and they're like, how do you make healthy food? Like, how is Joe on board? And so that's something I can help people with. It's something I feel like I can help people with, not because I personally like really struggled with it. But I did things to help with that. So there was no struggle. Let's see. just change in general is honestly really scary for people. So what were your fears? Those are usually the fear usually is the objection, in a nutshell. So then after you come up with your fears, come up with 2 to 3 desires. So, what are things that you want? And again, these could be things that you want now, but they also could be things that you wanted like before you started. So before you started coaching, you maybe just felt so uncomfortable in your clothing, or just like you want to feel confident naked, like you want energy to play with your kids or to run around with your dog. It's like, what is it that you want to feel? And make sure these desires really hit like pain points in people. Like, what do they want? And maybe those wants come from fears or come from struggles. And these are things that you want. Like, make sure that, like I wouldn't put on my personal list, like energy to run around with kids. That would be weird. Like, whose kids am I running around with? Like, I don't have kids, So mine is going to be energy to take my dogs on walks, energy to play with my dogs. Like, our desires lists are going to be different. Yeah, they might be similar, but you really want to narrow in on that individual person that you're talking to. And you really just want to make sure that all of these things not only are who you are now, but think back to who you were before you started. Because if you're always talking now, then you're only talking to coaches. And so you're only helping other coaches, which is great and wonderful, but you're not bringing in new people. New people are like, I have no idea what she's talking about. She's so awesome. I could never do that. And that's what you don't want, especially if you feel like you're not there yet. Like, I remember there being times where I felt like I was so behind on my journey. Like, I was so far back from where I wanted to be, and I was pretending to be further along than I was. And people would come to me like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. And I'd be like, I'm not. Like, make sure that you are relating to people, and sharing your struggles, because it does relate to people on that level. And then also include like an age, because I think an age and kind of a demographic is important. So, maybe it's like a 22 to 28-year-old woman without kids. That would be mine, right? So I'm 25, so I feel like I can really help girls who are in their like senior years of college, realizing they gained weight, realizing like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving college, like the transition of starting a new job and not having a rec on campus, into, helping people who hate their job and have been doing it for 2 years and they're over it, or, just like I can help those people. And then I feel like I can help people without kids. That's not saying that there aren't coaches on my team and challengers in my groups that have kids, and I love them, like both of my like top coaches on my team have kids. So like, it's not like you're not including those people, but those people relate to me not because of like kid related things. Both of them do have dogs too, so like they might relate to me on that level, or just like dog mom to kid mom, like you can have relate there too, but just in all the other parts of my story. So it's not like by excluding, I just don't, by saying I don't talk about those things doesn't mean those people would never ever reach out to me. But it's also nice that if someone did reach out to me and was looking for stuff that had to do with something that someone else on my team could help them with, we can all help each other. So it's just really awesome when you know who each person is on your team, who they are, who you are. It can really just help know who each person is talking to. Okay, so this is your avatar. Every post you make should be a blog post for this person. So you want to make sure that this is always the person that you are talking to. And I literally, I have this put up on, I have each of these things. So each of these steps I have as a quadrant on my computer background. So my person is in front of me all the time. I'm always thinking about what she likes, what she doesn't like. Like right now, her likes are that she likes, and I change her likes based on the season. Okay. So like right now, her likes are everything fall, anything pumpkin, her like being cozy, anything purple is like always a like for my person because it's just like my obsession. So your likes can change, if it's summertime, your person might like going to the beach. If it's winter time, or like Christmas time, maybe your person's obsessed with Christmas, and they can change, like in the summertime, maybe your person isn't obsessed with Christmas because I don't know, maybe that would be weird. So, it doesn't have to be like, that's why you want to go back. So like at least once a month, if not like more, I'm always like refreshing this person. Okay, so once you have this written out, you want to go and do step 2. So look at that list and think about creating your brand. Your brand doesn't need to be anything crazy. It doesn't need to be anything like super, like you don't have to have a logo or anything like that. It's just creating something that you can look at and get inspiration from it. So I have like pictures of actresses that like I feel like are my vibe or whatever. And so like I feel like I'm talking to them when I write my posts, or like weird, silly things like that. Like there's a picture of, right now I have a picture of pumpkin pie on it because it's like, think about pumpkin pie when you write your post, whatever. So this is creating your brand. You want to choose some like buzzwords. So like you want like 5 of them or so, words that help bring out how you want to feel, how you want your audience to feel, just those feelings that these words kind of bring you. And those are the words that you want to bring out in your posts. So maybe, you know, you really lacked energy. And so thanks to coaching, or thanks to Energize, or thanks to Shakeology or the workouts, you have more energy. So maybe one of your buzzwords is energy. It's, you know, I feel more energized today. I have more energy today. Like that's something you talk about a lot. So people who are low, if that's, and this has to be something, you guys, that like really did, like, these are my examples, you know, because this is something I can talk about because they're my own examples. You need to think about them in terms of your examples. And so, you know, people who come to my page, like I want them to realize that like, you shouldn't have to struggle with your energy levels. Like you should be able to feel good. And if you always feel low energy, then maybe you need to like try and take care of yourself better, because it has helped me. And so I'm sharing what has helped me to help people who are going through what I went through. And so something I talk about a lot is energy. And so I have that 5 buzzword up there. And so I can remember, like, have I talked about my energy levels today? If I haven't, maybe I'll write a post about it. Community. Like I said, community was huge for me. I've always wanted to be a part of a big community that I felt connected to, and I just never felt like I had that. And so I'm always talking about our community, our team, our fit family. Like I'm always talking about community. Maybe you want to talk about friendship. I talk a lot about feeling good and how that, what that means to me, what that means to other people. You know, talking about being passionate about your job, being authentic. Like, so being like showing that you're very real. And I don't ever use the word authentic, but it's like, that's something I want people to know when they come to my page. I am going to be very authentic and real on there. Practical, that this fits into your normal daily life. Like this isn't something crazy. I'm just a normal person. And if I can do it, you can do it. Feeling understood. I think a lot of people, like, they want to feel understood when they go on social media. And so that's something I want people to feel. So these are words that like I have a list of, and I go, okay, does this post make someone feel understood? Does it help someone know that if they don't feel good, I can help them feel good? If they don't feel passionate at their work, like they could feel passionate. So like, I think, does my post align with one of these buzzwords before I post it? And if it doesn't, I don't post it. I might save it because maybe I'll tweak it to align with my brand. But I don't always post a post just to post it. And that's actually kind of not true, because I post like all the time, but I change the post. So it's like, I post the picture just to post the picture, but the words, I really focus on making sure they align with my brand. And then I like to pick 3 colors. You know, what brings out the energy you want your reader to feel. Look up colors and moods that are on, like you can look up mood colors on, like you can just Google it, or just like we can talk about it. I taught color and moods to high schoolers, so I kind of understand it. But you know, kind of just think about that. For me, if you follow me at all, you probably have realized that my colors are really like purples and grays and blacks and whites, and then kind of silver sparkly. You would never see anything gold on my page sparkly, because I just hate it. I think it's just, I don't know why, but gold sparkly I hate. So like that's, I just want things to be cohesive. So when people look at my page, it looks very, very professional. It looks very, very put together. Even if I have no idea what I'm doing, even if it's, you know, like a pink background and 1 word on it, but every single one looks the same and like branded like that, then it looks better than it all just being a whole bunch of random stuff that you found on Google. So pick colors. I use Canva, so it saves my fonts. So like if you don't know, you can like download fonts from dafont.com, and then it saves those fonts. So I can go on any computer. It saves my fonts and it saves them as like preferences. So my colors and my fonts are all saved as preferences. So I don't even have to think about it. Like when I create something, I just automatically create it in my colors and my fonts. Okay. So just make sure, like if you really want your vibe to be natural, organic, very, very just, you like to be one with nature, hiking, whatever it is, maybe you choose like green for just natural colors like that, or maybe you choose yellow for energy. So you really just want to think about what colors make you feel. And then anytime you're putting words on something, maybe it doesn't work out one time, you have to go white or black just because of the photo. But if you can, like try and use those colors that work for you. You do not have to be a branding expert. So when you're reading this and you're like, this is overwhelming, like you don't have to be a branding expert. You just have to try. You just have to show that like, you're putting effort into it. If your photos are like, one photo is super, super long. One photo is like kind of cropped to a square. One photo is the correct 5x4 size. Like if it's all over the place, it looks confusing. It looks messy. So that's what we're trying to avoid. If you're all over the place with your message, then people who connect with one post might go to your page and they might not connect with the other posts that are there. And that one post that they did connect with maybe is the one that's closest to you, and that's the girl you want on your team, but she didn't connect with the other posts, so she didn't follow you. And so you really want to make sure that you're aligning with your vibe all the time, aligning with your message, make sure your message is in front of you. What do you want people to get out of reading your post? Are you writing, okay, I think this is the next one. Okay, so stop trying to help everyone because you're actually helping no one. And this is something I struggled with for so long, you guys. I was like always trying to help everyone. I was like, I can help everybody. Or I'm currently not helping anybody, so I don't know who my target is. So I'm just going to try and help everybody. It was not working. I wasn't helping anybody. No one could connect with me. I was all over the place. 1 minute I was talking about one thing, another minute I was talking about another thing, and they didn't even match up. So make sure that you write this out. You don't have to make it look good or anything. Just write it on a piece of paper, write it on a Post-it note, and put it somewhere. That's all you have to do. Stop trying to help everyone. Focus on who's the person you want to help, that you feel like you can best help, and how are you going to help her. And how you help her is not going to be how I help her. It's not going to be how Maddie helps her, because she's going to connect with you because she needs how you can help her. And that's what you kind of need to figure out, so you know what to tell her that you can help her with. Stay on message, okay? Basically everything I just said. If your message is that these workouts fit into your crazy busy life, and then so you should not post about how you're too busy to work out. So if my message, like 3 out of the 5 days of the week, is like, you guys, these workouts fit into my busy life. Oh my gosh, you guys, I almost forgot to go grocery shopping today, and I haven't done my workout yet, and I fit both in an hour. Like, whatever, though, that should be your message, okay? Then if one day of the week you're like, oh my gosh, I was so busy today, I just couldn't get my workout in, hashtag I'll do it tomorrow, okay? Like if your brand is like, I don't mind skipping a day, that's one thing. Like my brand is not, my brand definitely would do that, okay? So like you need to figure out what your brand is. If your brand is okay with skipping a day, and it's like, I don't beat myself up over skipping a day, I just make sure to get back on track tomorrow. Okay, if that's your brand message, then you can't post a post that's like, oh my gosh, I missed a workout, I'm beating myself up over it, I'm going to do 3 workouts tomorrow, because you're constantly talking about how it's okay to miss a workout. So now you're freaking out, like, what is going on? It's confusing, you guys. You need to pick a message and you stick with it, because then people know what to expect from your page. So if your message is, these workouts fit into my crazy busy life, I can fit them in all the time, then if I'm on a day where like, oh my gosh, I cannot fit in my workout, I just need to get it done, I might go to your page for inspiration, because that's what you're always talking about. So you would inspire me to get it done even though I'm crazy busy. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, but just make sure you're on message all the time. Okay. And not only do you want to be on message and talking about the right things, but you want to stop journaling on your Facebook feed. People don't care about your itty bitty mini things. Okay. And they do. So here's the thing, is like you have to sprinkle in your journaling, but you really want to make it a blog. And so blogging is like sprinkling in the journaling, but really helping people at the same time. So what I started doing is I started keeping a journal on my phone, or you can have a paper one, you can do whatever. And I write out my struggles, my successes, random thoughts in this journal before I create a post. So, I listen to a lot of podcasts. So like while I'm listening to a podcast, I might write down a quote or something she says that like spoke to me. Then when I take a picture, whenever I want to write a post, I go back and look at that note. I look at that journal and I say, okay, how can I rewrite this in a way that's going to help others? Okay. So a journal helps you. A journal helps you deal with your shit. It helps you go through whatever you're going through. It helps you get it all out onto paper. Even if it's positive, like it just helps you like celebrate. It helps you get it out. A blog helps others. So the story and the message may be very similar, but the key is thinking about how your avatar, their fears, their struggles, their desires, how you can write a post that's going to help that person. Okay. Remember, your avatar is you. So you're talking to your own fears, struggles, desires, probably before you became a coach, or like even sometimes now. So think about writing the post as you would want to help you. What would you want someone to say to you? How did you help yourself in that situation? How can you share a tip? How can you help others do that? So like, let's see, like, I don't know, like if I'm drinking water, I don't just say, hey, I'm drinking water because it's good for me. I say, hey, I finally figured out that like if I drink it out of a pretty cup, I'll drink more of it. Okay. So people who are my avatar like pretty things. They like straws because I love straws. Like that's just me. That's my brand. And I like do that. So people, like I'm sharing a tip. I'm not just saying I'm drinking my water. A journal would be like, I drank 8 ounces of water today. A blog is like, did you guys know that 8 ounces of water makes your hair silky? And like, I have engagement photos coming up, so I want to make sure that my hair is super silky. I don't know. You're sharing a tip with them, not just a fact. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're also inviting the way you would want to be invited. Because remember, if you're attracting people who are like you, who understand you, who get you, then they want to be invited the way you want to be invited. Talk to new people every day. This is a non-negotiable for me. I never go to bed until I've invited at least 10 people every single day, no matter what. Because at most, I can get this done in 30 minutes if I really want to go to bed. Okay? Stop worrying about what you should say or what other coaches are saying. Okay? So it doesn't matter what anyone else is saying. All that matters is that you say something. It could be, hey girl, I love your t-shirt. It could be, like, hey, I've been thinking about you and I'm getting a new challenge group started. Like, would you want to join me? I think you would be perfect for it. Or like, I think you would love the community. Like something that's aligned with the words you say often on your brand, on your website, on your page, on your social media. Bring that into a message. So just have a conversation. Messaging people messages you would want to receive, or at least wouldn't be annoyed receiving. So make sure that like if you're sending out a message and you think, oh my gosh, if someone sent me this, like I would delete them. Well, then why the heck are you sending it? Because the person you're messaging is thinking the same thing. So that's just dumb, you guys. Think about what you're sending people. Read the post out loud. This is my biggest tip, and I feel like no one takes me up on it. But like, read your post out loud. Make sure it sounds like something that would actually come out of your mouth. Make sure it's something that you would say to someone at a coffee shop or to a friend. Use voice messages. You guys, I had a concussion the other week, and so like I had to use voice messages. I had like no option, and it was the busiest week. Like I signed up 3 people that week, and like it was insane. And I just used voice messages. It wasn't even that bad. It was kind of fun. It took like way less time. It was super, like I got excited to do it. If I messed up, like I had no option. It just sent anyway. So it was like, okay, whatever. I would like send another one or just like move on. So try it. I know. Okay. So this is how I feel about inviting. And you have to know that you are posting to your avatar all the time. So you're doing steps 1 through 3, and that's all related to your posting. Okay. So I know that my posts will create curiosity. So even just having a conversation with someone about their cute shirt is going to increase my post showing up on their feed. Okay. So anytime you message someone and they message you back, even if they message you back, no, go away, your posts are going to show up more on their feed. Okay. If they message you back, even if they message you back, no, if they message you back at all, it's like they want to talk to you secretly. That's what it's like. Seriously, they want to talk to you. So, now your posts are showing up. If you're doing your job and posting like 3 to 5 times plus a day, they're going to see your stuff. In your posts, you're always talking to this girl, right? It's like every time she reads the post, she's like, oh my gosh, this girl's talking to me. That's how I ended up signing up with Maddie, because at first I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is so annoying. She's in a scam. Then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I need what she's doing. Oh my gosh, this girl keeps showing up and she's still like, is she talking to me? Like, does she know me? What is going on? And then I had to reach out and message her. Okay. That's what you want from other people. Yeah, it might take time, but like eventually they'll be like, hey girl, what are you doing? Because I like can't even deal. I need to get on board. But you have to post a lot. You have to post all the time. You have to post frequently. You have to make sure that every single post is aligning with your brand in some way. In order to know that it's crossed their mind. If you don't do that, like you can't presume this. You can't presume that they have any idea what you're talking about. So you can't just say, hey girl, I'm running this group. You want to join me? Because they're going to be like, who are you? I haven't talked to you in 20 years. Hopefully not 20 years, because then you met when you were 5. But they might say, I've never talked to you before ever. And you're going to be like, oh, well, haven't you been seeing my stuff? And they're like, no. So it's like, if you don't know, like you have to make sure that you're posting all the time to increase the chance that they've seen something, so they kind of know who you are. So they kind of know what the heck you're talking about, which is why it's so important to make sure you're talking and posting every day, all the time. Okay. Where's the rest of my thing? There we go. Okay. Step 5, stop doing what's not working for you. Okay. Do not stop ever doing the vital behaviors. If you are not posting, inviting, personal development, recognizing and using our products every single day, you have no business. Those are your business building activities. You need to be posting every day, 3 to 5 times minimum. You need to be inviting. And that doesn't mean just like cold inviting. That means creating relationships, commenting on people's photos, like creating curiosity in what we're doing just by talking to people. Personal development, if you are not doing personal development, like you're crazy. Recognize people around you. Recognize your challengers. Recognize the one coach that you have. If you only have one coach, recognize them every freaking week. Recognize a coach that is on this entire team. Maybe isn't directly under you, but like maybe you saw them do a good post. You can recognize a random person and just make them feel good. Make sure you're using our products and getting your results. If you don't use our products, why the heck would someone, you're literally then selling it to them, because you can't say, I tried this, it works, don't you want to try it too? You're saying, hey, I've never tried this, but like other people say it works, so like don't you want to buy it? Like that's awkward. Sorry, it just is. Don't be afraid to try things and not stick with them. Last month, I did a certain filter on my photos because I wanted to try a different way to filter my photos. And I don't actually use a filter, but like different edit settings. And I did it for the entire month. And now I'm switching. I don't know if I really loved it. I don't know if it created the extra engagement that I wanted, but I tried it out for at least 3 weeks. Okay. I made sure that it wasn't just the time. It wasn't just the week. It wasn't just a fluke. It was the filter that wasn't helping me. Okay. So it's like groups. If you are running free groups and you suck at them, I'm the worst free group runner ever. Okay. If you suck at them, stop running free groups. Try them, see how they work for you, but don't stick with them if they aren't working for you, okay? Because that's just silly and just a waste of your time. So for me personally, like instead of running a free group, I treat my social media, my like page, my personal page, my Instagram, I treat those as if they are a free group. Okay, because it's just easier for me. It's how my brain works. And if it's how my brain works, it's how my people's brain works. I have coaches on my team who have amazing free groups. Bree just added me to her group, and like, oh my gosh, her branding is on point. Her group is on point, and she's a brand new coach. Like, I was freaking blown away. It was so awesome. If I know a bunch of you are in Jessica's morning group, and like that is just like so awesome. Like that gets me out of bed most days. So like some of you are rocking the free group, so don't stop doing a free group. But if you are failing at the free group, or you hate it, or it doesn't bring you joy, or it's just like not what you want to do, stop doing it. Try, but don't stick with it if it's not working. Just because it works for someone doesn't mean it will work for you. Duh. Okay? Like, just stop doing things that don't work for you. Just because someone on the morning wake-up call says they're doing this and it works great doesn't mean that you do that one thing and your whole business is going to explode. You need to try and figure out what's going to work for you, because your customers are different from that person's. Stop overthinking it. Act like the coach you want to be. So if you feel like you're a brand new coach and you know nothing, who cares? Act like you know everything. Act like you're awesome, okay? Because people don't want to sign up with someone who's like, hey, I know nothing. Okay. They want to sign up with someone who's like, hey, let's do this together. Hey, my coach is going to walk us through this. Hey, I'm going to join a group with my coach and be an apprentice coach. Want to join me too? Okay. Don't go around saying like, you have to act as if you know stuff. You have to act as if you have the confidence that you want to have. You have the energy that you want to have. Act like the coach you want to be. Act like the coach you would want to have as a coach. Okay, so if you are bored with your challenge groups, your challengers are bored. If you don't like them, your challengers don't like them. Okay, if you think that a coach should do this, do that. Okay, be the coach. Like, act like the coach you want on your team. If you want a coach who's bringing in a new coach every single week, well, then you better be bringing in a new coach every single week. Okay, that's the mindset that you need to have. You have to switch your mindset to be the coach that you want to be. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Do what you want. This person's over here on Instagram. You literally cannot even stand Instagram. It makes no sense to you. Don't even worry about it. Start a like page. Okay. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Someone's running a free group. Oh, I have to run a free group. Someone's doing a clean week group. Oh, I have to run a clean week group. That's going to make your mind spin. Just do what you want. You want to run a yoga group? Run a yoga group. You want to run a 3-week group? Run a 3-week group. You want to run a fit family community group? Run a fit family community group. It doesn't matter what you run, you guys, you just need to run it, and you need to do it and do what you want to do, because you're going to attract your dream customers and clients, and coaches. Customers and clients are the same thing. But you're going to attract your dream people, your dream team, your dream customers by being you. If you are trying to be someone else, you're going to attract their customers. And then when you have a conversation, it's going to be awkward because you don't understand each other. And then no one's going to sign up with anyone. It's going to be a hot mess. Okay, if you are struggling with figuring out who you are and who you want to be and what you want and all of that, you need to become a personal development junkie. Like, literally, you guys, this is what I did. I dove into personal development so hard, because when I started, I was like, I'm going to be this coach, fake it until I make it, whatever. But I didn't actually work on me. And so once I started working on me and figuring out what I really wanted and where I wanted my business to go, and just all of it, who I was, what did I want my brand to look like, my business just exploded. So if you feel stuck, this is where you need to start. If you don't know what to post about, listen or read to personal development, you guys. Seriously, I'm not even kidding you. If I don't know what to post about, I think I have it on the next slide. I listen to the Style Your Mind podcast by Kara, the girl who wrote Girl Code. And they're 30-minute episodes. And I just channel all the energy she pours into me, and I create a post out of it. Okay. So here I want to give you guys some podcasts I listen to. Again, I'm posting this in the team page, so don't feel like you have to write all this down. Currently I am obsessed with Style Your Mind podcast. Like I said, it's by the Girl Code author, the Champagne Diet author. So I'm just currently obsessed with that. Bucci Radio is a podcast by a Instagram star coach. So I feel like she gives good, like, kind of Instagram tips and kind of just health coaching in general. Not really specific to like Beachbody coaching, but just like health coaching. The Life Coach School with Brooke Castillo is really good. The Brennan Show with Brennan Bouchard. Those are my favorites. These are some of the books I've recently read that have really kind of changed my mindset about the business and about life and just a lot of things in general. The Universe Has Your Back, Girl Code, The 5-Second Rule with Mel Robbins is amazing if you haven't read it. Mastering Your Mean Girl was hit or miss with me. I know a lot of people love it, so I've left it on this list. Purple Cow, I just finished, and it's business-based. The guy's a little bit boring, but it talks about being able to stand